YouTube, here's my video response to Howling Dingo. It shows you bushcraft books, so here's a few of mine. I'll start by showing you these ones here. It's about food for free, Collins Gem pocketbook. All about getting food from the hedgerows and wild food and that sort of thing. Very interesting. I've still not quite got my head around that yet. There is an awful lot to remember. I've not started doing mushrooms and toadstools yet, but if you're going to do it, highly recommend getting a good book, because if you get the wrong one, you're in big trouble. Organic gardening, not strictly bushcraft, but there's a lot of good stuff in there. A few recipes and things like that about cooking your own vegetables. I've got Wildlife of the British Isles here. Very good again, some really nice photos in there. Next up we have Purnell's Concise Encyclopedia of Nature in colour. That's an old book. It used to be my grandfather's. Price there of £2.95 when it was new. I reckon it would have cost a lot more now. Trees in Britain, Europe and North America. I find this book very difficult to use because a lot of the pictures are incredibly similar. Where's those pictures of ash? There we are. These are all different varieties of tree. It's very concise, but it's very difficult to actually be of any good use. So ash is an ash, really. Well, it's not, but you know. British wildlife. I live in Britain, so it's probably best to learn about British wildlife before any other countries. Next up there is Ed Stafford walking the Amazon. I actually went to see Ed Stafford. He did a book launch and a bit of a talk in Llandudno Venue Cymru. There's the tickets. I met Ed, proper nice bloke. He signed the book for me as well. My cousin actually went to see the book talk in a different county. He got there early and Ed was there. He actually went out for a beer with Ed and said he was a proper nice bloke. So yeah, there we go. Next one, Chris Ryan's Ultimate Survival Guide. Again, not really bushcraft, but more kind of military survival. Chris Ryan is he's won competitions in escape and evasion, so you got to give him respect for that. It's a bit like in its structure. It's a bit like the SAS Survival Handbook. Yeah, let me just show you something about Chris Ryan's book compares to the SAS Survival book by Lofty Wiseman. It looks to me like he has lifted some of the pictures straight out of the book. I don't know if he's had permission, but it's pretty much the same. It's just another example of Chris Ryan's book taking pictures straight from Lofty Wiseman's SAS Survival Guide. So there's that one, a spring snare. What's that one? A spring snare. What have we got here? A double spring snare, and that is the same. And as well, that one, Chris Ryan's book, and that one, Lofty Wiseman's book. The same. So there we go. Very, very similar. There's one thing about survival books that Cody Lundeen from Dual Survival said, and it really rings true. He said, if you want to learn how to swim, don't start reading a book about swimming as the boat's going down. So if you want to learn how to survive, make sure that you read the survival book before you're going to need it. So make sure that these books that you've got, you read and not just put on the shelf as ornaments. Which leads me neatly on to Cody Lundeen's books. They're 98.6 Degrees, The Art of Keeping Your Ass Alive, How to Survive Fear, Panic, and the Biggest of Outdoor Killers, which in this case is hypothermia, which is in Fahrenheit, 98.6 degrees Fahrenheit. I was lucky enough to get this book signed by the man himself. To Rob, always remember, party on, Cody Lundeen, March 2012, and a peace sign at the end there. Very, very good book. Also by Cody Lundeen, I have got When All Hell Breaks Loose. Again, I've not read that all the way through yet, but I'm working on it. Again, he's a very intense man, so it takes a bit of reading. Okay, next up we have Ray Mears, Uncle Ray. The father, well, not the father of bushcraft, but father of British bushcraft, perhaps. Probably the father of bushcraft is arguably Mors Kochanski, which I haven't got his book yet, but I'm working on it. Mears Bushcraft, Handbook of Survival Skills from Around the World. That's very good. Here are some DVDs. I got these from my good lady for Christmas. These are the DVDs which accompany the book that Howling Dingo showed. He was commenting on how good the photos are in the book. Let's have a quick look here. I'm just doing this with one hand, on the other hand flipping the book, so yeah, just all things from around the world. They are amazing photos. Nothing really too specific. There's the time where he makes the birch bark canoe in Canada. That's on the DVD. It's really good. Anyway, next one, another book of Ray Mears, World of Survival, as seen on TV. Next, I'm going to show you Medical Emergencies, another underrated, not really bushcraft, but if you're out and about and you get into trouble, it's probably a good idea to learn about all these things before they happen. There we go. Next, one of my most favourite subjects, knots. I might actually start doing a little series of videos on knots. I've practiced and practiced and practiced and practiced, so there's the directory of knots. It says the directory of knots, but it's not very concise. If you want a concise handbook of knots, here it is. There is thousands in there. Almost last book I'm going to show you is Camping and Hiking Wilderness Techniques. Sorry about the light there, it's shining off everything. It's a really good book. A lot of good photos in this one. It's quite old-fashioned, but still very relevant. And of course, the axe book. These are the books I got with the axes that I've got from Gransfus Bruks. Let's see, first of all, what we've got here: the Scandinavian Forest Axe, the Uncle Ray's Wilderness Axe. We have Small Forest Axe, Wildlife Hatchet, Swedish Carving Axe, and my double bit 35-inch felling axe. Okay, well that's pretty much all the books I have. I did have another couple on wild birds, but for the life of me I can't tell you where they are. Hope you enjoyed the video. There's just a response to Howling Dingo, Alan Ainsworth's video on Shows You Bushcraft Books. I will leave it there. Till the next time.